Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. In this video, I will discuss about TCP protocol and TCP three-way handshake. So first I will give you an overview of what TCP protocol is, and then I will discuss about TCP three-way handshake, which is very important, which is a very important part of TCP and also a very important part of overall computer networking. And if you have not subscribed to my channel till now, so do subscribe to my channel and also do like the video. So let's first look at the properties of the TCP protocol. So TCP is a connection oriented protocol. So like if if there are two hosts, let's say H1 and H2, and if they want to communicate with each other, then first they need to establish a connection. That's what is also called as three-way handshake, three-way handshake, or TCP three-way handshake. So we will discuss about this later on in this video. First, I am just giving you an overview of what TCP protocol is. And we have also seen in socket programming video also, right? For in socket programming video also, when we were using the TCP program, in that the client has to first use that connect function. So it has to use connect function first. After this only, it can start the communication or sending the data from the client side. But in UDP protocol, there is no need for this connect function. Both client and server can directly start communicating without any handshake or without any connection itself. The second important property of TCP is that it's a reliable protocol. So what does it mean that TCP is reliable? The meaning is, let's say if H1 wants to send some data to H2, let's say it wants to send some data, then what will happen when H1 is using the TCP protocol? It will be guaranteed by TCP protocol this whatever data it is sending, it will be delivered to H2. It will be guaranteed by this TCP protocol. But let's say if it is not using TCP, if it is using UDP protocol for sending this data, then what will happen? It will not be guaranteed by the UDP that, okay, this data will reach the destination or H2. It will not be guaranteed in that case. In TCP, it will be guaranteed. The next one is TCP runs on top of an unreliable IP protocol. So you have a different layers in TCP IP model, right? So the important ones are, of course, this will be application layer, then it will be transport layer, then it will be network layer, and then you have data link layer. Okay. Then of course, this TCP is a part of transport layer, and in network, like in network layer, I will cover nets, but IP protocol is an important part of network layer. So this IP protocol itself is unreliable. This is not reliable. Like if you directly use the IP protocol, it will not be guaranteed by this IP protocol that the data will reach the destination. But if you combine TCP plus IP, right? If you combine TCP protocol plus IP protocol of network, it will be guaranteed that whatever data you are sending will be delivered to the destination. But if you are using UDP here, and UDP is also a part of transport layer. So if you are using UDP instead of TCP, IP is also unreliable, UDP is also unreliable, right? So it will not be guaranteed by this that the data will be delivered to the destination. And of course, TCP takes care of the congestion control. So what does this mean? And what does congestion control means? This simply means that if the overall network that you have, right, you have the internet, and you will have multiple routers in the internet, a lot of routers will be there. What if all these routers get congested? Congested in the sense that they are receiving a lot of traffic and they are not able to process them in time. It is taking a lot of time for them to process it. So what happens in this case? So UDP will not care. So UDP will not see that, okay, the overall network is congested, so I should slow down my rate of sending the packets. UDP will not take care of that. But TCP, what it will do? It will see that the overall network is congested and it will slow down the rate of transfer of packets from its own side. So like example from the client side or server side, from both the sides, it will see that, okay, the overall network is congested, and whatever rate, like, there will be a rate at which this client will be sending data to this network, right? It will slow down this rate by seeing the congestion. So if all the TCP clients and TCP servers start slowing down their rate of sending messages to the network, in after some time, what will happen? The overall congestion will start decreasing, right? And this is useful, right? Because you do not want the network to get congested. UDP does not care. I mean, UDP does not see this congestion and all. It will keep on, I mean, sending data in this network. It will keep on bombarding this network, right? It will increase the congestion. But TCP takes care of this. The last one is integrity of data. And this is also very important. So UDP also does this and TCP also does this. So whatever data like TCP, of course, there will be some data in the TCP segment. So, I mean, that will be provided by the application layer. So it should not happen that that data gets corrupted in between. So if the data is being sent from, so it will be sent in a TCP packet, let's say data is here, and this is the overall TCP packet. So if this is being sent to this H2, it should not happen that in between this data gets corrupted. It should not happen. For that, there is the integrity of data. I mean, TCP will also check that, okay, that data corruption has not happened. We will now look at the TCP segment structure. So we have already looked at the UDP segment structure, which was very, very, I will say, simple. But TCP segment structure is not that simple, as you will see here. So of course, TCP also has a source port and destination port, right? So of course, if a process has to send data, I mean, over the network, first is it has to create sockets, right? The client socket and similarly server socket will also be there. And they both will have port numbers. And if you want to more understand about port numbers, source port, destination port, do watch my videos on socket programming. I have described them in details in those videos. So source port and destination port, this will also be there in TCP segment. It was also there in UDP segment, but many other things are different here. Now you have sequence number in TCP, you have acknowledgement number in TCP. Header length is against, it will also be there in UDP, but you see there are different types of flags here, like CWR, ECE, URG, ACK, PSH, RST, SYN, FIN. Like these flags are very important for TCP. As I have told you before, that TCP is a reliable protocol. And in order to make, like in order to achieve that reliability, TCP will take help of like these headers, like sequence number, acknowledgement number, and all of these flags, receive window. It will take help of these headers to make the reliability possible. And for UDP, it does not have to take care of reliability. So all of these are not needed in UDP. So we will discuss about what sequence number is, what acknowledgement number is, and what these some of the important flags are. We will discuss about this later on. Then you have receive window also. There are some others also. Then internet checksum is there, right? This is, as I told you, right? TCP also helps in integrity of data, right? This point. So this internet checksum helps in that. Then you have options, and finally you will have the application layer data here at the bottom. So this is the TCP segment structure. Now I will discuss some theory about like whatever headers I have discussed. Like sequence number and acknowledgement number are used to implement reliable data transfer service. As I have told you, right? In TCP, since reliability is a very important factor, it takes help of this sequence number, acknowledgement number. A receive window is typically used for flow control, the number of bytes that a receiver is willing to accept. So as I told you, right, TCP also takes care of congestion control. So in that, it will also use this receive window header for that. Then you also have header length. By default, it's 20 bytes, but it can differ if, so you have options here, right? These options here. So if you put something in options here, the overall size of header will increase from 20 bytes. It will be more than 20 bytes in that case. Then you have checksum also for error detection, and also important flags like SYN, ACK, RST, FIN. Like you have many flags here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 flags are here. But 3 or 4 are very important flags, especially SYN and ACK. These two are very, very important. And push flag is also important. FIN flag is also very, very important. We will see when we discuss about TCP three-way handshake, TCP connection termination. There we will see the use of SYN flag, ACK flag, FIN flag, push flag, all of this. So that's all for this video. And in the next video, I will discuss about TCP three-way handshake. And there I will make you understand what this sequence number and what this acknowledgement number are. And we'll also discuss about some important flags such as SYN and ACK flags in next video. Thank you.